I just checked out of the hotel with the interesting old lady. And I had to pay, and she asked me if I wanted a receipt. I was like, yeah, can I get a receipt? And she was like, what's your name? And this is always a thing. If I just say my name at natural speed, like even with Japanese pronunciation, Japanese people are 99% of the time caught off guard unless they know Eric Clapton or something. Like they can't, they're not expecting this series of sounds like etiquette. Like it's just bizarre in Japanese. I totally understand. So I pronounced it like, you know, slowly. She was like, what's your name? I was like, etiquette. And she was like, what? Like, and she says to me, she goes, I'm too old to deal with your English words. And it's like, I don't understand. And this other guy is standing next to us, and he's now translating my Japanese to her in Japanese. He's saying exactly the same things I'm saying. And he's like, eri, ku, and like, eri, chisatsu, ku. And she's like, what? And like, just, it's just like a production. And she brings me a piece of paper and a pen, and she's like, write it. So I wrote it down. And she's like, oh, okay. So then she writes it down, and she's like grumbling about English words. And I mean, she's not being like racist or anything. It's not like that. She's just like, I'm too old to deal with this shit. Like that's basically her attitude. And then as soon as I pay, her disposition completely flips, and she is incredibly speaking to me in like the king's Japanese or the emperor's Japanese, like super polite, and like her mannerisms all shift and everything. I don't think it had anything to do with having paid. I don't think it was a money thing. I think it was just she's got a ritual she does at the end of the transaction, and it's like perfect. So she did her little ritual, and then I peaced out and had to do a ferry port. And I just realized I still have that lady's key, so now I get to go back there and be the stupid foreigner. Something tells me there's a story here, like an angry wife or something found the cigarettes. I know you guys were a little upset it was a little dark when I shot this last time, but I'm back to the northernmost railroad crossing in Japan. Real exciting. Hey, there it is. So see, now you can actually see there's a train station right down the tracks. Woo! I got here pretty early. Got like an hour and a half to wait. But I got my tickets and bought them from a vending machine. So Japanese. I love vending machines now. They're amazing. Oh, I'm on one of Japan's notoriously beautiful ferries, headed to Rishiri Island. And I'm going there based on just seeing it yesterday when I was watching the sunset, and it looked cool coming up out of the ocean, so I'm on my way. I keep saying like, okay, this will be the last place I go, then I head back to Tokyo. So like, I'm gonna say this will be the last place I go, then I'm gonna head back to Tokyo. However, there's one more island that might be interesting. Anyways, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go to that second island. We're gonna go to Rishiri Island, and we're gonna check it out, maybe for a day or two, and then we're just gonna see what happens. This ferry is really cool. It's like a pretty big ferry, and it's got room for parking cars on it, so people can take cars over to the island. And I think the journey is about 2 hours, and it's going to be very comfortable because there's tons and tons of open seats. And on the second class area, they basically got these big open rooms with this floor that's a little bit elevated. You take your shoes off, and then you can go and you can relax on the floor, and a lot of people are just napping now. So I don't know about nap, but I will definitely get my chill on. The bathroom in this boat is not, you know, adequate. Alright, that's my island right there. That's where I'm going. I do like sleeping on boats, let me tell you that. Well, this island looks like it would be an amazing place to ride a scooter on. Like, unbelievable place to scoot. Islands always are though, because you have this little contained circle and you can scoot around, and it's always amazing. However, I don't have a driver's license, so I asked they have little 50cc scooters. And we're in Japan, so there's like rules, like they're real rules. But I still asked the dude, I was like, so like, on this island, like, can you run a scooter without a license? Like, is it legit? Like, you know what I mean? Do people look the other way just because of all the tourism and stuff or whatever? That's kind of what I was getting at. And he was like, dude, you gotta have a license. Like, nobody's gonna rent you a scooter. So I don't want to get in trouble either, but you never know. Like, it could be a little lax in this area and stuff. Like, you know, I might have taken advantage of it or at least thought about it, but I'm not gonna do it. And I do have an American. Well, shoot, I don't even think I have an American driver's license since I lost my wallet. But it doesn't matter. It wouldn't have worked anyways. I can't use the American license here because my international permit is expired because you can only use it for a year when you're in Japan, and then you have to get a Japanese license. Blah 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 blah. Kyde is the only one that has a driver's license between the two of us in Japan. So now between the two of us and anywhere, because again my license in my wallet, which who knows where that is. So I'm walking to the town, and I don't know if I think the weather's gonna be okay. So I might just sleep outside tonight, and there's onsens and stuff here, so maybe I'll just take a shower in an onsen. Or if I can find some place that is cool / affordable, maybe I'll stay there. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea why I'm even here. So it's kind of exciting. I get to explore that and figure it out. I went to the tourist information area, and they have a lot of tourists here, but it didn't seem like they had a whole lot of information. Like, they have a map, it's not really that extensive. So I guess I'm gonna just have to talk to people and ask them what to do, which is totally cool. Going to the top of that looks like a thing to do. Gotta find a way to get my bag off my back though. That's the first priority. They had coin lockers back at the ferry port. So worst case scenario, I can stick it in the coin locker. But I'm gonna check out the accommodation situation. And if there's some place then that also can hold my bag, you know what I mean? Walked into town, it was really close. And on my way there, I met a German guy. He's been bicycling in Japan since, I don't know, like 6 months ago or something. And his goal is to bicycle around Japan for a year. So like I'm like I don't think I'm hardcore or nothing. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that's what I'm going at here. Like, but like, I mean, I'm hitchhiking, and like I feel like, you know, you kind of feel like what you're doing is a little bit off the beaten track and yada yada yada. And then you meet a German who has been bicycling from Osaka all the way to here and plans on going back and going down through Kyushu and stuff. And he said he's hoping to take about a year to do the whole thing. And I'm just like, oh, I've just been riding with some people. Like, what I'm doing is nothing compared to some of the stuff that, like, his stories are nuts. This guy is like, yeah, like he's like living off the land while he's doing this. Like, he's just catching fish out of rivers or lake. He said lakes are his best. Catching fish and just cooking the fish. And he showed me pictures. He caught a snake and killed the snake and like skinned it and then ate the snake meat. Like, and he said he had it with pumpkin. He said it goes really good. He said the snake tastes like chicken mixed with eel, kind of, which makes a lot of sense, I guess. I mean, it's like a land snake, sort of, like the land eel, like, so it's a chicken, like, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, so I mean, we hung out for a while, and we climbed up to the top of that thing that I wanted to climb up to, and had a very nice view, and I could see some of the ferries going away and stuff that we had come on one of the ferries. There's a bunch of them actually. They come a few times a day, and whichever one was leaving, got to see that, and it was cool. And there's a lighthouse up there, and just a really nice view. And we ended up kind of like on our way to the top, we ended up kind of in a weird area. I don't think we were supposed to be in it. We had to climb down this like dilapidated stair system and then hike up through these like thick bush stuff, things Katie and I get into all the time. And I was like, yeah, we can go. And he was like, I don't know. And I'm the guy's eating a snake. Like, he's like, I don't know if we should go up there. I'm like, it's all good. So I don't know, maybe it's like people have got their different comfortable levels. Like, I'm okay with trudging through an area that doesn't look like I'm supposed to be there, and he's okay with killing and eating a snake. This is hardcore. So anyway, he's just gonna he's gonna go in the woods and find a place to sleep. He has a tent and stuff. Again, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I saw a place to stay, a little bit expensive. It was 4,500 yen. I'd like to find something a little cheaper than that, and I think the weather's supposed to be okay. I might end up on a park bench if they have parks here. I think they have parks, because the city, not city, but the island has got a reasonable sized little town. I'm surprised actually how much stuff there is, and it looks pretty modern, and there's a convenience store and everything. So I kind of expected in my mind to be in like a little fishing village or something, but the port area is pretty built up. Wonder if maybe if you get away from that a little bit, it breaks down a bit. But I don't have any idea what I'm gonna do here. So everything I had planned, which was hike up that thing that I saw when I got off the boat, I'm done with that. So now I have other things that I need to come, my next step is to come up with things to do. There's a mountain in the middle of this that's supposed to be an amazing hike, but I don't think I'm gonna do it. the way that the weather is changing and how lazy I am and all these things are combining, and it's a pretty serious hike. Like, I think it might be an overnight type thing just by looking at this mountain, which is now hiding in a cloud, which is part of the reason I don't want to hike up it, because it looks a little bit daunting for somebody who has no real experience. But my German friend, he said he's gonna climb up there, but he's all good, because if he runs out of food or something, he'll just like kill a serpent or whatever. He's all right. Me, on the other hand, I need a 7-Eleven, you know? Oh, I walked up the road and I found a place. It seems like this town is at low tourist season. I don't think there's gonna be any problem like finding things like this. And I met a really friendly girl that works here, and she showed me. I was like, I'm not really into seafood. I'm on an island, and like the thing here is octopus, and I'm just really not into octopus. And I was like, where can I eat? And she was like, So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for food, but hopefully I'll find something. And she was explaining that the town closes down pretty early, so don't like go out late looking for food. Like the convenience store, which I'm used to being open 24 hours a day, closes at like 8 o'clock or something. It's a really crazy early time. But I mean, there's nobody lives here. It's a really like laid back little community, despite being kind of built up a little bit. So she gave me some recommended places to go. And I don't know, I'm thinking about just renting a bicycle tomorrow and seeing if I can ride the bicycle all the way around the island. But I don't know. It's like 30 kilometers or something. Is that possible? I don't have any idea. My gauge on like distances and then how far it takes to like walk and ride and stuff. I walked like 16 kilometers like a few weeks ago, and it took a long time, but I did it. So it's got to be possible to bicycle 30 in a day. Yeah, it should be okay. It should be no problem. 10 kilometers an hour on a bicycle. This seems about right? I could do it in 3.5 hours, I think. I mean, with stops and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I've got to decide that, and hopefully the weather will be good tomorrow. But this is just another, they call it a dorm, but it's, you look at this, it's just a regular Japanese, like, ryokan style, like, building, but they've put this here, and maybe a stranger will sleep there. But the way she was talking, not gonna happen, there's rooms to myself. And it's a really nice, like, super, super clean area. And there's a bunch of different ones. She asked me, do you want the view of the ocean or do you want the view of the mountain? So we looked out the window, and that's the view of the mountain right now. So I was like, how about we go with the view of the ocean, which is looking a little bit better because it's still cloudy, but at least the ocean is just right there instead of so far away that it's buried in a cloud. Oh, anyway, so yeah, it just seems like a really clean place, and some of the rooms look like they have, they've got beds and stuff, but I'll be real, I'd prefer a tatami floor because I'm huge and my feet will dangle off those beds. And let's see, what else we got? I think I'm the only person here. So like normal ryokan stuff, like brushing your teeth stuffs, toilets stuffs. Again, kind of like the last one, women can walk in here and see men urinating. I don't know why that's tripping me out. Maybe that happens all the time. Does that happen where you live? I think I heard that a little strange. Oh look, and they do have like another dorm looking situation. Like that looks like a dorm. I wonder why the room I'm in, my price list says the lowest price, so I'm surprised. Maybe that's cheaper or something? I don't know. Maybe it's something else, who knows? More of the same rooms over here. And this is on the second floor. The first floor is very nice as well. So I'm happy I just walked down the street and found this. Now I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I might go hike up another one of those like hill thingies and then try to find some dinner and then get come back early tonight maybe? And then in the morning try to kick it out early and then see if I can bicycle around this beast. Oh wow, I came downstairs. Look at this. This room is awesome. It's like a big like a public area, and there's like a kitchen back there. That's amazing. I find it amazing how wildly different the cleanliness levels of these places can be. Like this place is the same price that I paid for that mystery house place. And that place was, let's be real, that was like one of the worst places I've stayed in Japan ever. And this place is phenomenal looking. Wow. Oh, look, whoa. I bet that comes in awesome on clear nights here. Wonder if clear nights, again, like clear nights in Japan, are they in Hokkaido? I don't know if that exists. Oh, this is lovely. I'm really happy I found this place. This is great. Huge kitchen. It looks like an industrial kitchen. Wow. That's my guest house. And I think that's where I'm gonna go climb. I summit 2 of these things in one day. I'm a superhero. That's where I went earlier. And you can see a pretty good overview of the town. Again, it's not huge, but it's more built up than I'd expected it to be. So the 5 o'clock go home music that they play, like this is a thing in Japan, by the way. Cities play music, like it's for the kids to go home, I guess. Don't know if you can hear it. I hope you can hear it. It's Yesterday by the Beatles. This town has chosen a Beatles song. That's amazing. This is no like little grim fishing town. This is a pretty nice little town. Like people have got modern looking houses that were like built recently and are very clean and like, yeah, I don't know, again, like maybe I'm just being crazy, but I think fishing village and I think like, you know, people struggling to get by or whatever, but that totally doesn't seem like what's going on here. And I'm under the impression the only industries here are fishing and tourism. Maybe the tourism industry is really strong or something, or maybe whatever they're fishing out of the sea here is worth a lot of money. But it seems like they're doing all right. I imagine land costs are somewhat low, but to build a house here, just to get the pieces to build a house here, would probably not be cheap. Like, just to get them to northern Hokkaido is probably not cheap. And then also to a little island north of northern Hokkaido. Interesting, but yeah, I'm really surprised. It's a really nice little village. So these black birds, they're like crows, and they are really smart. And they're kind of a pest, to be honest. Like in Tokyo, they just dig through trash and make a mess and stuff. And they'll get into things. They're like open trash cans and stuff, and they're just annoying. And they're really big. When Katie and I first came to Japan when we were traveling here, we called them baby snatchers because we were like, man, that thing's gonna snatch up somebody's baby. Like, it's a big bird. I've never seen such a high concentration of them all in one place. Like this little field is kind of full of them. And it's a little intimidating because, like, if they wanted to, they could probably take me down. Straight up, like that many of them, like I'm a little bit worried. And earlier, my German friend has left his bicycle at the bottom of that hill that we went up. And on his bicycle, he had some food and stuff and a bunch of trash and just laundry detergent and stuff, just like stuff you would have if you were living off the land like he was. Like snake killing rocks and stuff, whatever. And he had tied his food up, so the food was okay, but the birds kept getting into the laundry detergent. They wanted that. I guess they liked the smell of it or something. I hope they didn't eat too much of it. Well, I guess if they did, that's their problem, but they shouldn't steal laundry detergent, you know? But they were getting into things, and they, on multiple occasions, we walked past the bike a couple times and then fixed things and then went on and then came back. They had opened like zipper compartments and stuff that were on the bags and stuff that were attached to this thing. Like they're really smart and they're strong. And yeah, I don't know, there's just a lot of them here. I've never seen like this many of them. I really don't like them. Like, I don't know, Japanese people will tell you like, don't be mean to them because they'll remember you forever and ruin your life. So I'm always really like skittish about like not making eye contact and like, you know, not getting in his personal space and stuff. But with so many of them around, it's kind of hard not to. There's one flying right for me right now. It's freaking me out. I don't think I've ever seen something that so perfectly captured like that picturesque image people have of Japan in their mind. This pond is so tranquil. There's koi fish in it. It's got these little bridges. It's got a little like, what are those things called? Water, electricity making water thingies. What is that? What's it called? Dang it, I can't remember. Yeah, so it's got that thing. And there's this Japanese crane, like just like walking around looking like a beautiful dinosaur, like hunting for fish, like hunting for fish, fishing. I'm not Englishing well right now. Whenever I find like things like this bridge with these archways, I'm like, man, they designed this exactly for me. I just, I think I'm like a third goat or something. I just love like climbing up on things like that. This is wonderful. Maybe I just never grew up. I think that might have something to do with it. If I hadn't found a place to stay, like this park would have probably been where I would have stayed. It would be quite fantastic. Ooh, I wonder if mosquitoes would be a problem because of the lake. Gotta keep that in mind. Stupid mosquitoes. Also, I think it might rain soon. This is one of my favorite things to see. This means that over here, I'm gonna find a foot bath. This is just absolutely lovely. It's not super warm, but it's warm enough. In case anybody's keeping track, that thing on my leg is not looking better. Man, what is that? Spider bite? Plant? I don't know, man. It does, again, it doesn't hurt. It's just a thing that exists. This whole leg isn't doing good. I don't know if you've noticed as well, I'm limping a little bit. Got this cut on the bottom of my foot. I don't really know how to film it at the moment, but it's just, this cut is just like gnarly. It's not really bad. It just makes me like hobble when I walk a little bit. Getting old. Sitting here in this foot bath and I noticed a sign just over the hill. And I told you I wasn't making this up. Those birds are evil, man. The sign says, beware of the attack of the crows. Like, seriously, attack. They use the word attack. I just wandered out of the foot bath area and into a little place called Rekishi no Mori, and means like history forest. I'm not sure what the history of, but it's kind of spooky. Like, I'm alone and like it's getting dark and there's like moss all over the ground, and it's like I got this little bit of a spooky vibe, and it feels like the complete polar opposite of that really tranquil place I saw with the dinosaur that was fishing. He seems like completely the opposite. I wonder what the significance of this is. Why history forest? Maybe if you go into this forest, you become history. Looks like they might have had some strong winds from some of the typhoons that have been coming through. That looks a lot like what I had seen when I was in Teshikaga, when I walked along the that lake, and all those trees and stuff have been destroyed. And the cut on that tree looks pretty fresh, so I'm gonna bet that's a recent development. This tree is history. Look at that guy doing push-ups. This is an interesting name for a restaurant. Why would you name your restaurant Tsunami? Am I missing something here? Like, it's like, those things kill people, yeah? Weird name for a restaurant. Right in front of it is a pole that's like, beware of tsunamis. And of course, what would be a Japanese town without a pachinko hall? Check out this futuristic stoplight. I guess it's LED or something. It's really thin. It makes perfect sense to have like a stoplight be LED at this point in time, but I don't think I've ever seen one before or not noticed them being that thin. Is that what stoplights look like in America now, or are they still like those thick box looking things with the monkey inside with the lantern? That's how it works, right? I've opted to call it an early night and come back at like 6 o'clock. It's dark out there, and real talk, that town is kind of dead. So what I ended up doing is, I had asked a girl earlier, like, I'm really not into octopus, like, is there any place to eat? And she gave me a couple of recommendations, and one of them was that tsunami place. I'm like, I'm not gonna eat this tsunami place. And the other place just looked kind of like an expensive yakiniku place. So I just hit the Seiko Mart and got a bento. They're good, man. Don't judge me. And this one is like a chicken, looks like kind of like a Chinese-y sauce with a chicken and an egg and some leek on it. And I got a little salad to go with it as well, just because I haven't had a whole lot to eat today, so figured I would double down. So anyway, let's give a piece of meat a try, because I thought it looked pretty good. I was gonna get like just like a bowl of like ramen noodle, like, you know, cup noodle thing, but then I saw this and I was like, oh. It was damn good. Yeah, it's like, almost like, I'm gonna go this far. That's like American Chinese food. Isn't that what I said about the last one? I had something else that tasted like American Chinese food. But yeah, not bad. I'm glad I picked the room by the ocean, because I opened my window last night and I got to listen to the ocean while I was sleeping, and that's something that's not so common, especially when you live in the middle of Tokyo. I got myself some wheels for the day, and not motorized wheels. I'm the motor in this case. So the place that I'm staying at, which is wonderful, by the way, just an absolutely, just a joy to stay there. Like, it's so clean and so quiet, so peaceful. It's just like a really nice place. They also rent bicycles, and they rent bicycles of a reasonably high quality. Sometimes when you rent bicycles, you end up with, like, you know, some busted up thing that nobody's maintained, or like just some crusty bike, all rusty chain and all yada yada yada. But the bike that they've rented me is like a nice, probably the nicest bike I've ever personally ridden. I don't know if it's a good bike or not. It's just a Giant. That's just a normal like brand. I don't think that means anything amazing or anything, but like it's easy to ride and it feels good, and like I'm happy with this rental. And yesterday I had mentioned that the island was only 30 kilometers around, and I look at the map and I was like, man, that's not right. Like, this girl told me it was 30 kilometers, and like I was like, you ride it in 3 hours? This doesn't seem right. Like, I was looking at it, and then I measured it on Google Maps, and it's like 62 or something like that. So like, I'm not gonna do that today, no way. Like, I do not have bicycle skills, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out of shape and old. So there's a bike path that's like 25 kilometers, and I think maybe that's what she was talking about, and I just missed the part where she said bike route. Or I think what happened, she said bike route, I assumed she meant the whole island, but what she meant was this like path. So I'm gonna go to the start of this bike route, and then I'm just gonna ride along the bike route, and there's a few things to see, and that'll take me quite a few hours as well to, you know, go at my pace. So I'm not gonna get a chance to circumvent the islands. It's way too big. You could do it, I guess if you did it in like 2 days or something like that, it would be comfortable. Like, you could do that. It would probably be no problem. Stay at that other end at the end of one day and then come all the way back. That would be doable. But I think I'm only gonna be on this island today, and then tomorrow I'm gonna make a jump either towards Tokyo or to the other island, which would then be, I swear, my end point before I started heading back to Tokyo. So I need to make that decision. Today's weather is, it's probably not gonna rain, but maybe it will. It's really cloudy. It's quite windy, which was the worst part about the bike ride. The 5-minute bike ride I took to get to the convenience store. And it's a bit cold, and I wore shorts today because bicycle. I didn't want to get the pant legs and the chain, and then, you know, lots of exercise and like getting warm and stuff. But I'm starting to wonder if I made a mistake there, because it's a bit brisk. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go and see what I can find along this little bike path. I think that foot bath that I went and hit last night, I think that's along that path. So I'm looking forward to that part the most at the moment, because that's all I know about. Oh, and I have a rice ball, and I think it has cheese inside. Yep, cheese. It's okay. It's cool because it's served warm, so the cheese is a little bit melty. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's just, I mean, it's Japanese cheese. This is hard to be upset about. I wouldn't say that I'm dreadfully out of shape, like, as a human being. Like, when I'm in Tokyo, I go and I jog a few times a week and stuff. No ridiculous distance is just enough to keep my heart from, like, dying. But on a bike, it's like completely different set of body parts you're using. And I've only ridden like half an hour now, and yeah, my body's aware of what parts of the body those parts are. A Japanese national pastime for adults and children alike is to have like a little book. I don't have one, unfortunately, to show you, but they carry, it's just a little book with blank pages in it usually. And then when you go to some place interesting, you can put a stamp inside the book, and then it's kind of like a collect 'em all type thing. So for instance, in Tokyo, on a lot of the train stations, I think the entire Yamanote line, the line that runs a circle around the city, at every station there's a little place to get a stamp, and you can put the stamp in your book. And a lot of like touristy areas have got similar systems, and they've got that system going on this island. So that's what this little station is. This is a stamp station, and if you come down here and you open this little door, inside is a stamp, and it shows where you're at, I suppose. Yeah, Yeah, I guess it's like a number or something. It's numbered. And then you put it in your book. And then you go to the next one, you get your stamp. And then at the end of the day, you feel accomplished because you have you filled your stamp book up with all the little places you've been. It's pretty wonderful. I should get into it because, I don't know, I like collecting little things like that. It seems like something Katie'd really be into, like getting stamps. Maybe I'll take her on a stamp adventure someday. Find like the best one somewhere in Tokyo and be like, okay, we gotta go find all of them today. That'd make a fun video, wouldn't it? Oh, this is a great little map that shows the island here, and I'm staying somewhere in this area up here. And this path right here that goes along like this is the cycling path. And you can see that that's the distance that I decided I'm gonna go, as opposed to this distance, which is what I thought I was gonna do yesterday until I realized not gonna make it. So yeah, that's nice. So it gives you a good visualization. And the center here is, as you can see, a very tall mountain. And it would be fun to climb that, but dude, with the weather, and apparently you need like hiking gear, like real, like hardcore, like, you know, professional style stuff, and like not so much. Apparently late summer is when a lot of the flowers on this island are in bloom, which is interesting because to me it's like a springy thing, but the climate here is all wonky because of how far north we are, I guess. But you can see here there's a bunch of like flowers in this little flower bed, and I think I'm going to see more things like this. Last night I had walked past a field that was full of flowers as well, and that was pretty nice to find. I hope I see more of that. They've got this monument here that's right on the ocean, and it's built in commemoration. I'm having trouble with that word. Memorial? Not memorial, I don't know. Commemoration. It's built because an American guy in 1848 had shown up in Japan. Maybe here, it's unclear. It says it's in Notsuka, and I don't know if this little area is called Notsuka or not. I'm not sure. But anyway, so somewhere in Japan this guy showed up. Maybe it was here, I don't know. And that's when Japan had been closed off from the outside world. So when he showed up, he tried to like act like he was a shipwrecked sailor, but he had come here intentionally, I suppose. And they see, now that's hardcore. Like, even the guy eating the snake's got nothing on this dude in the 1800s. This guy's just like, okay, that's a closed off country, let's go. Let's just do this thing. It'd be like if you went to North Korea right now on a boat and just showed up and were like, what up? Like, that's kind of like, you get this closed off country where it's super dangerous to go as a foreigner, and you're just like, eh, let's give it a go. And then also, like, you know, in the 1800s, it's just insane. Anyways, so this guy showed up, and he was arrested, and they took him down to Nagasaki, and he was in prison there. And I guess while he was there, he was teaching people English and like doing like some sort of cultural exchange type thing, even though he was a prisoner. And when Commander Perry showed up in Japan a few years later, like with his guns, and was like, yo, you're opening up the country, some of this guy, Ronald McDonald, wait, what, really? Yeah, Ranald, maybe, R-A-N-A-L-D, Ranald McDonald, ah, what? Anyway, so the guy that had originally come here, his students who had taught English worked as interpreters between Commodore Perry and like to negotiate with, you know, opening up at, you know, the tip of a gun, basically. So this guy is known as the first English teacher in Japan, and that's kind of interesting, having taught English in Japan in the past. It's like my forefather or something. Not only was he an English teacher in Japan, being like, you know, my forefather in that sense, he's also born in Oregon. So was I. Like, what? Oregon? What? That's a shame. This is how a majority of the Japanese tourists are seeing the island. Okay, I'll be fair. That's how a majority of the older Japanese people are seeing the island. I've seen plenty of younger people bicycling it too. I found the beginning of the bicycle path. Wonder how far it is to that footpath. One of my side hobbies, especially on this trip, has been to take pictures of Japanese signs, and I post them on a subreddit called Japanese in the Wild, which is used for people who, like, they don't live in Japan and they want to, like, see signs, like, real things in Japan and then be able to translate them and talk about that and stuff. And it's a pretty small little community, but there's just something about it, like the purity of it, that I really like. So I've got a bunch of signs I've been taking pictures of during this trip that I haven't posted yet, but by the time you read this, I probably will have posted them. Anyway, I just found my favorite sign yet. It says, "Beware of seagull poop." I've done my first kilo on the bike path. Just off the bike path, I've come across a little graveyard, and it's different than Tokyo graveyards because there's space between the tombs and stuff. Tombstones, I guess, and a lot of them look just like, you know, your normal, like, Japanese tombstone style thing, but there's some things here that I've never seen like this before. Like, it's bottles of maybe beer or something. But is that a what is this? Is there somebody there? Is that what's going on with this one? It's really cool to see the difference between the graveyards here and the ones in Tokyo, where these are just like literally like in the woods a little bit. There's some space and it seems a little more like serene. I mean, I guess that's what you get when you have more space available for such activities. I don't know if those are activities, but such things. Coming in on the ferry, I had noticed these ridges that were kind of up above from where the edge of the island was, and I was like, man, do they have like a bypass or something that they've built for like cars and stuff to go? Is that what those bridges are? This on a little island, like, it just seemed like crazy. Like, why would they build a bypass like that for automobiles when there's a road that, like, obviously goes around the perimeter of the island and connects all the little towns and everything? It turns out the bridge isn't for cars, it's for bicycles. Like, this is literally a bicycle only path, and they built this magnificent bridge over this like valley so that you can easily just go straight across without going down a hill and up another. The bike path is like phenomenal. It's very, very nice. If you come here, you gotta rent a bike and ride this bike path. It's amazing. I can't believe this is here. Look at that guy. Take a little detour off the bike path. And this huge hill isn't that fun to walk up. It's like 600 meters or something. But I think it's gonna be fun to go back down. Alright, I made it up to the top of the hill. I've come to a place that, and I came here because I like the name of it, basically. It's called Hime Numa, I think is how you say it in Japanese. And it means princess swamp. And to me, those two things are very conflicting concepts. Like, beautiful princess, yada yada yada, swamp. So I gotta see what this is all about. I'm fully expecting to find like Bride of Shrek or whatever her name was. You know, the girl from Something About Mary. She could be down here. Down here at the Princess Swamp, the mountain in the middle of the island is starting to pop out of the clouds a little bit. And the swamp is a nice little place. I don't know if I would use the word swamp. Maybe bog goes better. I got bad news, good news, bad news, worse news. The bad news is I'm a bit hungry. Apparently riding a bicycle will do that. The good news is I have food. The bad news is it's a calorie mate. And the worst news is that I just went, screw it, I'm gonna get the one that looks the grossest, and I got cheese flavor. So I've got it here. It smells like a Cheez-It, kind of, like a sweet Cheez-It. It's actually not bad. I think it might be less, I'm not going to say better, less, I think it might be less disgusting than the chocolate one. I think the chocolate one was the worst one I've had. Maple was okay. Cheese is a bit cheesy. Like, why is it cheesy? Yeah, and then I think the last one that I haven't had, I don't know, that I've seen anyways, they have one that's plain. And I don't know, don't know how excited I am about plain, but I guess if I've done cheese, plain seems a lot less scary. They built this like nice little walking path to go around Princess Bog. We're gonna upgrade it to Bog. Bog is above swamp, I think, in my mind. So they've built this little path, and it's kind of a nice little walk, just a few hundred meters around it. It's a small body of water, boggy of water. At some point they had a tree fall. I'm assuming it destroyed the path because they've built this little detour here. And the detour, very adorably, just goes right through the tree. From the Princess Bog, you end up getting a pretty nice view of that mountain. Down is a lot more fun. There's been like 3 or 4 of these bridges. This one is by far the most impressive. It says it's 80 meters long, and it's one of those like with the huge steel thing above it and everything. This looks amazing. From a distance, I was 100% convinced this was for cars. Cannot believe they built this for bicycles. Looks like they had another tree problem here. Like, that had to have been a pretty substantial tree to have fallen from that far down and still create this much damage. Around Tokyo, there's a lot of places that are called Fujimi, blah, blah, blah. The school that Katie had worked at was called Fujimi, blah, blah, blah. And, well, not the blah, blah, blah part, but Fujimi means, like, basically like being able to see Mount Fuji. And I was surprised to see a lot of things up here are named the same thing. So, like, this bridge is, like, Fujimi as well. Like, they've used the same name that you would use for something in the Tokyo area where, I mean, Tokyo is close to Mount Fuji. This is not close to Mount Fuji. But apparently the mountain here, it looks so much like Mount Fuji, I guess. That's what they say. I don't know if I really agree. Maybe in the wintertime when there's snow on it, it looks different or whatever. But the shape of it is kind of iconic in the same way that Mount Fuji is. So they've gone ahead and they've co-opted that name and used it up here as well. And sure enough, from this bridge on a clear day, I'm sure that view of their Fuji would be pretty good. It's not bad now either. This sign means like the top of something, like a mountain or a hill, and I'm not sure if it means just the top of this specific hill or ish mountain thingy that I'm on, or if it means the top of the bike path, which would be nice because that means the rest of it would be downish. And it hasn't been like horribly steep or anything, but down is fun. I know I'm talking about these bridges a lot, but they're getting to the point where they're like more than 100 meters long. Like, they're doing quite an expanse. And this specific one, again, like, we've got a view of this incredible mountain. Well, kind of-ish, the cloud in front of the mountain, but let's pretend that you can see through the cloud. And then if we just spin around, you got a view of the ocean and the little town over here. And my German friend and I, we climbed up that. A little pack of preschool kids showed up at the footpath. And they couldn't see me, and they poked around the corner, and the kid was like, "Whoa, a foreigner!" He said it out loud. He used a polite word for it. And he was just like, "Oh, konnichiwa." And I was like, "Hello," you know, I said konnichiwa to him and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, "Do you like footbaths?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he turns to his friend, he's like, "Foreigners like footbaths." It was pretty adorable. They were maybe, I don't know, 5, something like that. Kind of popped out of the forest and onto like a, what's this, like a field, like a plain, I don't know, just like with lower vegetation. There's no trees and stuff, and I guess maybe, I don't know, I guess the climate or something. And what if they farm this at some point or something? Like, why are there no trees here, I guess, is my question. Yeah, I mean, the climate here is pretty harsh and it's pretty windy here, and I don't know, why are there no trees? Wait, need a botanologist? But what's that? I'm not Englishing well, man. Like, I feel like my brain is broken. Botologist? Katie, I need help. I've reached the portion of the ride where I'm going right along the coast. It's really nice. However, I did look at how far I've gone compared to how far I have to go, and that explains why I'm making videos, why I'm moving now. Look at that view. But in other news, I was just riding along and I was going through this, like, you know, this beautiful little area, and I noticed there's all these bugs everywhere, like, flying around. It was really fun. And then a giant bee landed right here, nearly went in my mouth. I immediately was like, blew it away. But he had the opportunity to sting me right here before he departed. So yeah, it's a little numb right now. It didn't hurt that bad like at the time. I'm a little worried though. I haven't been stung by a bee since I was a kid, and I at one point had an allergic reaction, nothing like deadly or anything, but I had like some pretty bad swelling when I was a little kid. But that was a long time ago, so I wonder maybe I won't have a problem in Japanese bee, and you know, who knows what's going on. So keep an eye on it. Hopefully hopefully my head doesn't swell up like that. What was that? Martin Short movie or something like that? Was it Martin Short? He's like in an airplane and he gets stung by a bee and he got all big. But anyway, I think I need some companionship. I'm losing my mind. This kid is pointing the wrong direction, but his message is legit. Just a little bit away is that other island that I'm thinking about going to. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not. I think I'm gonna ask the girl at the guest house, like, is it good? And if she says it's good, then I'm gonna go. And if she doesn't say it's gonna be really good, then maybe I won't go. I don't know. This island's got a big mountain in the middle. The other one is really flat. That's the only thing I know about the other one. Back on this trip, before I had made the jump up to Hokkaido, I was in a place called Hachinoe, and from there I did a day trip, I believe that's where it was, to a little island thing that was famous because they had umi neko, and it's some sort of special seagull, and there was tons of them all over the place. And there's a sign here that says, like, beware of the umi neko's babies. So I guess maybe they also lay eggs on this island too, and apparently the babies are dangerous. Down is fun. Especially when there's no bees. Eat the shift. We got another beware of the seagull poop sign. And this time they put the seagull in, and the look on his face is priceless. It's just like, gotta do what you gotta do. So here's another nice map. I started down here, and well, actually I started somewhere in this area near the town, and then I rode my bike along the coast to here, and then this is where the bike course started, and we had the Princess Swamp, and then I got stung by a bee somewhere in this area on this little on this little nipple here, and now I'm somewhere down over here, and all I do is this. But then I have to ride my bike all the way back to the town area. Hopefully I can get back before it's dark. It's my goal at this point. But if not, I got a little light on here. I think I should be all right. So the bike path goes right by a little town, and so I saw something that I thought looked like a convenience store, and turned out to be a little like a vegetable stand, and they've got signs outside that said they have bentos and sushi. So I was like, all right, I'm down on this. I'm pretty hungry. Like that Calorie Mate, you know, it was all right for a while. It's been a while now. So I busted up in there and I got a sushi roll. It's this tuna, and that's perfectly fine with me. It's like my favorite sushi thing to eat. So I was like, score, gonna grab that up. And next to it, there was also a fairly big, what is it called? Drugstore. And in the drugstore, they had like, it was drugstore stuffs, and then also like grocery store stuffs almost, like kind of like they had some food items and stuff in there. So kind of like a CVS, I guess, would have just like maybe some more on the food stuff than CVS, but got some banana chips. I got a Pocari Sweat. Still wondering what a Pocari is. Got some, ooh, and then the thing for dessert, I got some anandofu, which I love this stuff. It's so good. It's like a sweet pudding stuff that they serve at Chinese restaurants in Japan. I don't know, maybe in China as well, but it's like a Chinese thing, kind of. You're never sure. Like, I mean, we've been to China, but I don't remember exactly if they had that there. And like, if you ask an American what do they have in China for breakfast or for dessert, everybody would be like Chinese cookies, fortune cookies. But that's not true. So I mean, all I can say for sure is that they serve this at Chinese restaurants in Japan. It's very good. It's like $3. It's on point. I think the lady in the drugstore thought I was going to be sharing my anandofu with somebody, so she gave me 2 spoons. She is mistaken. I wonder if that's her way of like asking me out on a date. These black and yellow little ladybugs are all over this island. When I was hiking with my German friend yesterday, I was like literally covered with them. Like, well, not covered, I mean, not literally, but there was a lot of them on me, like more than one. I was outnumbered, let's put it that way. Above this urinal, they've got a pretty sweet ad for a product for men to use to stop post-toilet usage drippage. Among other things. But they sell it in like the, the place for, older people. You need the thing, things don't work like they used to work. I just thought it was cute that it was for post-usage drippage. Like, everybody can get down on that. That's a problem for every man. I don't know if I've ever actually read the label on a Pocari Sweat before, but I just took a look at this one and thought it was kind of funny. Keep in mind, you're working with like it's like a Gatorade, like a sports drink type thing, kind of like grapefruity flavored or something, but essentially it's for, replenishing, lost stuffs. And it explains that, like, it's for replenishing electrolytes and stuff, but then the end of this thing here says that the appropriate density and electrolytes close to that of human body fluid. I don't know if that's the imagery I would have put on my sports drink. Oh, look who's back. The mountain, which I think is a dormant volcano, by the way, has shed its cloud cover, and now you can see how cragged it is on top. Like, it's really not a very smooth shape. It's really rocky looking and stuff. So to me, that even takes away more like that Fuji look that they think that they're saying it has. I really don't see that at all. I see a unique mountain. Like, I think they're detracting from this, calling it Mount Fuji, because the Mount Fuji is phenomenal, but this is phenomenal in its own way. All right, I made it to the end. I don't see an official marker, but I think it was about 27 kilometers. So now I've got to go great majority of that back. So I'm not gonna stick around here too long. But the best part about this is at the end, the reward that you get is a park golf course. Oh man, I gotta play some park golf. It looks so cool. What are these kids up to? Alrighty, so I'm back at my guest house, and I guess I'm gonna ballpark somewhere just under 40 kilometers on the bike today, which is a long way for somebody who hasn't ridden a bike in a couple of years. So I feel really good right now. That post like endorphin thing you get from exercise. Like, I feel awesome right now. And I've also just had a shower, which really helped. On the way back, I ran into my German friend again. It's a small island. We keep running into each other. And just had a chat with him and another Japanese guy that had been cycling around. And the Japanese guy said he had cycled around the world recently. Did a 4-year trek around the world. It's crazy. I don't know. I've met people that do that, and it's just like, what I'm doing is clown shoes. But anyway, so I have decided to treat myself because I'm prissy compared to these people I'm meeting. I'm not like beating snakes to death and eating them. Like, these people are hardcore. I'm just like, I'm gonna get some convenience store food and stay in my guest house. And they're like, I'm gonna kill a snake with my hands and sleep in the woods. I got nothing on that. So I've decided to treat myself to a feast. A convenience store feast. So the first thing I got, if anybody knows me, they know that I like chicken nanban. And this is a chicken nanban dish. And it is, it just said chicken nanban mayonnaise. That's all it said on it. But it looks colored a little bit different. Like, it's more of like a, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. I'm gonna guess it's a little spicy. It's not spicy. It's pretty soft. The breading is pretty soft, softer than normal. It's got an okay flavor. It's not Yayoi-ken. Yayoi-ken's chicken nanban is like, well, that's like some of the best. It's hard to beat. Another thing I got, so I kind of had high hopes for that, and it's okay. It's good. I would buy that again. I think it was 300 yen or something like that. It wasn't too expensive. So another thing I saw that was only 100 yen, and this is the only reason I bought it, because it was cheap, and I was like, I just want more substance. Like, Look at that chicken bowl after like that much exercise I did, and I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna cut the cheese, you know what I mean? So I got something with some cheese on it. And that is a little pasta dish, and I have low hopes for the little pasta dish. It's a microwavable pasta dish, and it's from Japan, and that's not a good combination of of things. So man, the camera is really hard to do this. Let's see. All right, there we go. My arm was like twisted around, gonna break off or something. So. Actually, that's good. That's surprisingly good. I mean, it's not like superb pasta, but for a microwave dish for 100 yen from a convenience store, it's like a creamy taste, and it's got mushroom in there. Is definitely there, and there's some pepper and some like green spicy stuff like not spicy but spiced stuff. Okay, so maybe in the future I would get that again instead of the chicken nanban. Oh wow! And I also have another salad like what I had last night. But more importantly, I saw a vending machine in my guest house, and they had some garana, and I haven't seen this brand before. So let's give it a try. All right. Stuff's so good. It's very similar to the other ones I've had. There's a little bit of a metallic aftertaste, but man, that stuff is, why is this stuff so good? Yeah, I'm gonna have to find an outlet for this in Tokyo. It's gotta be somewhere, right? Gotta find like a Hokkaido import store or something. And like, so the bike ride today was amazing. Like it was a long bike ride, but it was not difficult. And if you come here, like, I'm trying to fix the light. If you come here, you've got to do that. Like, you've got to get a bike and just bike around. Like, if you have a bike, then do the whole island. My German friend had done the whole island. He was finishing it just now, like when I had run into him when I came back into town. So, but like if you don't have time for that, do this little bike path. It's beautiful. You have this really beautiful, like it's changing scenery, which is what I liked about it. Like you're in the forest and you're going over these bridges and there's these valleys and there's this princess bog. It's watching the clouds morph around the mountain all day, and like I'd get different views of the mountain over and over and over. That was like easily my favorite part of being on this island. The mountain is very, very distinct looking, and just watching it get swallowed by the clouds and then it breaks free of them, and yeah, really, really nice. And it was fun to get a lot of exercise and stuff, and using a nice bike. Like I don't think I've ever ridden a bike that nice. Like I know how gears work kind of on a bike, but like I got to like play with like have like a zillion gears on it and stuff, and like learn like the best way to keep your momentum going and stuff. Like I'm no bicycle genius. It's just it was fun to play with, like just on a toy level as well. So yeah, the whole experience was really, really nice. And I'm still trying to decide: am I going to the other island tomorrow, or am I going to go back to Hokkaido and head back south? I haven't decided. I think I'll just decide in the morning when I wake up and see how I feel.
To pee.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed adventuring around that island with me. That bike ride was really badass, and just like it was so beautiful, and just like a really, really good day. It was one of my favorite days on the hitchhiking trip.
You know what? I just discovered recently on this weekend that riding bikes is terrible. So I'm happy that you had a good time, but I'm not a big fan of bikes.
Did you have a bike that was in bad shape?
I don't know. I just haven't biked in a while.
Really?
And it was just,
Didn't you used to really like it?
No, I don't think I've ever gone like, yeah, I'm just gonna bike ride today. Woo! Bike riding is A to B.
What about when we rode around the Yamanote line? That was fun, wasn't it?
That hurt my crotch. Like that hurt my butt a lot. 26 kilometers.
It was a long way.
I don't like bikes. Yeah.
Motorbikes are okay,
Yeah, well, that'll also make your butt hurt.
but it's still so much fun to scoot.
Yeah, it's definitely fun, but sometimes you have to take the towel and wrap it around the seat so that you don't keep sliding down and get, what is that stuff called?
Butt rash?
It's butt rash, monkey butt. I think people call
Monkey
it
butt.
monkey
Yeah,
butt.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you don't want to get
Anyways, now that we've made it to Monkey Butt Town,
Yeah.
we've also recently launched an Instagram page, and you may have seen that. And if you haven't, and you use Instagram, you should check that out because we're going to be just kind of updating behind the scenes stuff and doing things along those lines with the Instagram page. And I'm kind of excited to just learn how to use another social
He's
media
been writing
platform.
me notes about it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, check this out. Look at this.
Look at this. I'm excited. Stuff's happening. So yes, he's really excited about it, and it would really make him happy if you'd go over there and check it out.
Other than that, of course, we have a YouTube page that you probably are aware of because you just watched this video, and there's a subscribe button if you're not subscribed.
Bell.
There's a bell if you want to get notifications. There's a like button if you want to help us drive more traffic to our channel.
Is the like button the thumbs up?
Yeah, the like button thing.
It's
yeah,
not
thumbs
the
up.
The like button is on Facebook.
It's a Facebook thing.
Yeah,
Damn it.
yeah.
I'll get this right someday.
Getting it all mixed up. Yeah.
And also, leaving a comment helps us out too. That just helps keep YouTube going. Oh,
Just
these people
get
are
involved.
interested. Yeah,
Just-
getting
just-
involved is cool.
Yeah, you know?
We have a website, we have a Facebook, we've got pretty much everything now that we got the Instagram. And most importantly, we have a Patreon page, and all these names that you've seen running at the bottom of the screen here are names of people that have helped us over there.
Thanks, guys.
And they're the reason that we've been able to make videos, and
They're the reason we'll continue to make videos because we
Absolutely.
want to impress you, and we're trying to impress you with an Instagram.
Is that it? That's what the impression is coming from now?
Maybe. Oh, that's just right now.
That's this right now.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.